Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Syuhada binti Ismail. This is a member of my group, all made of 4 people including myself. First presenter will be Ira Natasha, second presenter is Izahatu Akmal, third presenter is Nadira Sadiana, and the last presenter is me. We are from SR11331. Our topic is adaptation to aerobic and anaerobic training. So, let's start.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Noira Natasha binti Kaharudin, and today I will present about adaptation of aerobic exercise. So, adaptation to aerobic exercise. First of all, the person must do aerobic exercise minimum 6 until 8 weeks and at least 3 seasons per week to get excellent result. Second, uh, the person can adapt aerobic exercise when at rest, for example, when we sleep. Number 3 is at submaximal work, such as cycling, and the last one during maximal work. Uh, Aerobic exercise also have some of influencing factor. So number 1 is type and method of training, like between aerobic and anaerobic. Number 2 is frequency of training. The person must do aerobic exercise as often as possible to get a excellent result. Number 3 is duration of training, and number 4 is intensity of training. So the person also need to know the duration and the intensity of exercise accurately. Next one, next factor is individual capacity. The capacity is also based on genetic, and it is based on fiber type of the person and so motor type. Next factor is fitness level. Different person have different fitness level. Next is gender. For gender, men have higher VO2 max than women. And the last factor is age. VO2 max was declined with age. So next is respiratory adaptation. Alright. So process of respiratory adaptation. First one is lung, then passage, and the last one is breathing or ventilation. So for first one, for pulmonary ventilation, decreased at sub-maximal intensity, but it increased at maximal intensity. Number 2 is pulmonary diffusion, unchanged at the rate and sub-maximal intensity, unchanged at rate and at sub-maximal intensity, but increased at sub-maximal intensity due to lung perfusion. Number 3 is arterial venous O2 difference. It is increased during sub-maximal and maximal exercise or maximal intensity. So next, adaptation for lung volume. Vital capacity was increased slightly, and the tidal volume is also increased slightly. Next, for lung capacity, it will increase IRV and ERV. And the last one is respiratory rate. It will slightly reduce at the rest and at sub-maximal intensity, but at the maximum intensity it was increased. So for the respiratory rate for newborn, general respiratory is between 13 and 60. For infant, 24 to 30. Toddler, between 20 to 30. And for adult, between 8 to 20. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nuruizatu Akmal binti Syafi'i and my matric number is 2019296432. Okay, today I'm going to present about cardiovascular adaptation and metabolic adaptation. The first one is cardiovascular adaptation. The important things about cardiovascular adaptation is for cardio hypertrophy. The heart size or chamber are enlarged, therefore increase ventricular volume. Next, to increase capillarization of the heart muscle and increase stroke volume. Left ventricle heart are the most important because to pump more blood to body. Then, to lower resting heart rate and lower heart rate during submaximal workload. Decrease heart rate recovery, maintain cardiac output at rest and submaximal workload. Next, to decrease resting blood pressure, increase VO2 max, increase blood flow to the muscle, and lastly, increase blood volume or blood plasma with more intense level of training. Next slide is about metabolic adaptation. The lactate threshold occurs at a high percentage of VO2 max, meaning it improves O2 delivery. Decrease respiratory exchange ratio, increase aerobic enzyme activity, and muscles store more glycogen and triglycerides. Glycogen sparing effect, meaning use of non-carbs for energy during exercise, so glycogen store delay. Lastly, are to increase mitochondrial density and increase capillary density. Greater oxygen exchange due to greater surface area available. So, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Nadira Lisa Diana binti Mak Firdaus. I am from SR 11331. Today, I will present about adaptation to anaerobic exercise. Adaptation to anaerobic exercise are divided into three parts, which are cardiorespiratory adaptation, cardiovascular adaptation, and metabolic adaptation. But I will explain cardiorespiratory adaptation and cardiovascular adaptation. First of all, I would like to explain about anaerobic exercise. What is anaerobic exercise? Anaerobic exercise is a type of exercise that breaks down glucose in the body without using oxygen, as anaerobic means without oxygen. In practical terms, this means that anaerobic exercise is harder but shorter than aerobic exercise. The first adaptation is cardiorespiratory adaptation. It will result a small increase in cardiorespiratory endurance and also VO2 max. Next is cardiovascular adaptation. Cardiovascular adaptation is the most important adaptation where they improve in maximal cardiac output as a result from the enlargement in cardiac dimension, improved contractility, and they increase in blood volume, which allows for a greater filling of the ventricle and a consequent large stroke volume. Cardiovascular adaptation will also result in a small increase in left ventricle size. The resting heart rate and submaximal heart rate also decreased. It will also result in a greater amount of decreased resting blood pressure and also a small increase in stroke volume.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nursyahada binti Ismail and now I will present about metabolic adaptations to anaerobic exercise. First of all, metabolic adaptations refer to the change in the body which allow it to utilize energy more effectively and efficiently. Physiological adaptation to high intensity, short duration training types. Strength, power, and hypertrophy training utilize the anaerobic energy pathways predominantly. So, we see certain metabolic adaptations with these training types, such as ability to produce ATP without oxygen. The body becomes better at storing phosphocreatine and carbohydrate in the muscle for immediate generation of ATP for energy without oxygen. Better storage and improved ability of the ATP PC system to work at a higher intensity. Second is anaerobic enzyme activity. The activity of the enzymes that break down phosphocreatine, which is creatine kinase, synthesize and break down ATP, which is ATPase, and help break down glucose to form lactate are increased. The improved breakdown of phosphocreatine especially helps to extend the capacity of the ATP-PC energy system, which helps during strength, power or speed performance. Next is about physiological adaptation to longer duration training types. Aerobic fitness, anaerobic fitness, and muscular endurance are increasingly dependent on oxygen for energy as they tend to be longer duration with less rest. Because of these different metabolic adaptations occur, such as first is temperature regulation. Temperature regulation is longer duration training, especially higher intensity such as anaerobic fitness, creates more heat than other training types. The body adapts by becoming more effective and efficient at shunting blood to the skin to cool through sweating. The second is body acidity balance. The body becomes better at tolerating, which is buffering, the accumulation of hydrogen ions, which increase muscle acidity and lead quickly to fatigue. This improved tolerance improves the body's ability to sustain exercise above anaerobic or lactate threshold. And lastly is lactate removal. The ability to remove accumulate lactate from working muscle cells for conversion back to energy is improved. This also helps to reduce acidosis in the muscle, allowing training at higher intensities to continue for longer. So that's all from us. Thank you.